Today's message is one that I genuinely feel will be the absolute most important message that I will ever deliver to a collective. I mean, I can say at this point in my YouTube journey that this is the most important video I've ever made. And if this video is finding you, I really ask that you keep an open mind and just genuinely ask yourself if there's something in this video that is meant to find you right now. I've set a very strong intention that this video will find the right people at the right time. And so if you're watching this right now, really open your heart and ask yourself if this could possibly be the message that you truly needed to hear, right now, today. So what I'm hearing, what's coming through from Spirit right now is that I'm speaking to a collective of people who either are or are really at least very familiar with the experience of apathy, of this resignation of life. And I'm hearing that this is not I'm hearing that this is something in the past that you almost built as a defense mechanism. I'm hearing that I'm also, wow, a lot of channels are coming in right now. Please bear with me in spirit. Thank you for helping me deliver this message cohesively to this collective in the way that they most need to hear it. So I'm hearing that you're someone who really, really cares deeply, who feels very deeply, and who built this, wall of apathy to shield your empathy. And the thing about apathy, I'm hearing the thing about this apathy is that it might feel like a wall. You might think you're building a wall, but truly you've built a prison. And your spirit is knocking, banging on those walls of this prison right now, telling you, enough, that's it. It's time to free me, to release me. I'm not meant to be kept behind the bars. And I'm almost hearing now that you are telling your spirit, obviously this is all happening on a very below the surface level, but that you are thinking that it's not safe. It's not safe because in the past you have felt so deeply. And it hurts. It hurts to feel, and the big one here is that you've not only felt your pain, but you have felt, you have felt the pain of the world. You have felt the suffering of the world, and it's so difficult, and it's been so difficult for you to bathe in that. And so you cut off the water supply, water representing emotions here, by trying to build this wall, like I said, of apathy. The thing is that we think apathy, we think indifference is neutral. We think that it's harmless. We think, okay, we just won't feel anything. But in fact, it's very suffocating. I'm getting this image of you in this giant ocean, again, with the water representing emotions. You're in this huge body of water, this emotional body of water. And you have these beach balls all around you, like these inflatable beach balls, and you're trying to push them down to keep them below the surface, to keep them under the water. And right now, I just see you lifting up your hands and allowing them to float to the surface, only to recognize that they are helping you stay afloat, that they're actually here as buoys, as lifesavers for you to hang onto, not to suppress. And can you feel, when I say that, can you feel the amount of freedom that comes with that, of just releasing them, letting them surface and recognizing that they are here as lifesavers? And that's the interesting thing about emotions. You see, a lot of people, they're kind of, I wish I could intuitively, I wish I could be more intuitive. I wish I could understand, the intuitive hints. Well, let me tell you where intuition starts. The very first thing you need for intuition is emotional intelligence. You need to be able to, actually, it's not even you need. Why wouldn't you use this gift of emotions? You know, we're plopped down here on earth, and what we're given, you know, there's no rule book, there's no guidebook. I'm actually filming this on Mother's Day, and I'm thinking about how many mothers and fathers as well, of course, out there, you know, have a child and they're like, oh my gosh, like, where's the rule book, right? And the thing is, we don't have rule books in life. There's no guidebook for life's big moments, but we do have one thing. We have our emotions. And let me tell you something else about emotions. Thank you, Spirit. These are coming in quick, please, one at a time. Okay. The point is, emotions are our GPS. They are here to guide us. Each emotion carries within it a lesson, a piece of guidance, a message. For example, anger. When we feel anger, I already lost the other channel that was coming in. Maybe it will come back if it's meant to, but please stay with me. And like I said, please just keep an open mind, because this is a big, important message. And I really, really want you to just stay open. I feel like angels are just like, keep telling me, keep repeating that, stay open-minded, stay open-minded. You know, because this really is for somebody who has set this, I want to say intention, it's not really an intention, but at some point has felt the weight of feeling sadness or emotions or fear or despair or anger at the suffering of the world and of life at many times, and has made this decision. Like I'm seeing like a young child, so this is very much kind of one of those unconscious decisions made in childhood, but has decided like, no more, I don't want to feel. I keep losing my channels, I'm sorry, bear with me. And so we really are brought, like I said, plopped down here on earth with a guidance system here to navigate us, and that is our emotions. And, you know, if you, I don't know if I could say believe, because I'm pretty sure it's kind of a universally accepted phenomena at this point, but like, okay, if you believe in Darwinism, in evolutionary biology, in survival of the fittest, in adaptability and humans adapting to survive. Again, I don't know if you could say believe. I'm pretty sure it's a fact at this point. That's how we've evolved over, millennia. But going with that, evolutionary biology point of view, like, doesn't it make sense that if we feel emotions, I mean, I don't know about you, I have tried very hard in my past, but emotions are constant. Like, there's no, at all points we're feeling something. The human experience in and of itself is a visceral, feeling, emotional experience. But if we're still feeling and we're still having all these feelings all day long, after, evolving, then I would think that they're pretty important. I don't think that God made us, right? And just said, these humans, they're not going to be busy enough and their minds are not going to be preoccupied enough. Let's throw in a bunch of emotions just to make sure that they're always actively thinking. Like, I don't know for sure, but like, I run my life based on the fact that like, God is efficient, and the human body, the way that it has evolved is to be able to exert the least amount of energy possible. And emotions take up energy. So let's just start with that. Let's acknowledge that there's probably a purpose for emotions. And if you can get past that and accept that this purpose of the emotions is to better guide us, is to improve our experience here on earth as humans, then I think it would stand to reason that it would make sense that like, it's time now. It's time to look at our emotions from the safe place that we're in right now, that we can create within ourselves that perhaps we didn't think we could as kids. And it's time to look at these emotions, honor them, understand them, and work with them instead of trying to numb that out. And I'm already hearing, you're there, you're doing it. I keep hearing, you're here, you're there, you're here, you're there. You're already at the place where you're like, enough is enough. I was not, you think you're keeping yourself safe. And even if you were, you didn't come here to be safe. That's not the point of your experience on earth. You came here to feel alive. You came here to experience joy. You came here to experience, to feel life, not just to live, but to feel alive. And it's time. It's time now to stop with the prisons. And so I want to share in this video, because this is a process that I went through very, very heavily, like during my first spiritual awakening. I was forced to look at emotions. I had spent years and years and years just ignoring my emotions in sometimes in subtle ways by just, I'll have a drink instead, feeling uncomfortable, I'll go out, I'll go distract myself. And sometimes in very obvious ways where I knew I was numbing something and I still did it because I did not want to look at those emotions. And I went through a very, very intense, and actually, I'm going to spoil it for you, incredibly beautiful and cathartic and joyful process of reconnecting to my emotions. So if you're in a position right now where you're ready, and I'm hearing your spirit is telling you you're ready, you're ready. Or maybe, again with the open mind, spirit is giving me the open mind comment again. Or if you're open-minded enough right now to try to feel your feelings, to try to work with them, and to just feel more aliveness in life, then I want you to try at least I'm gonna explain to you what I did to start feeling my emotions. And I want you to try this out and to please ask me any questions along the way in the comments, or just let me know how this goes for you. This has been the most incredibly healing process for me personally. So I am going to try, I don't have the printout with me. I want to show you the Wheel of Emotions. I'm gonna try to put it up on the screen in this nice, lovely white space over here. I just need to make sure I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out for you guys, I'll figure it out. But there's something called the Wheel of Emotions. It's basically just a wheel and it lists all of the emotions. So what I did as someone who was incredibly disconnected from my emotions and incredibly resistant to even wanting to feel them, was that I set an hourly reminder on my phone. And I simply, the process of feeling emotions, I just want to backtrack for a second here and give you a couple, not disclaimers, but a couple, positive disclaimers. I don't know what the word for that is. Number one, it is so much simpler. Emotions are so much simpler than they appear. Number two, the half-life. If anyone knows what a half-life is, it's like a biochemistry term. It basically just means so it's the amount of time that it takes for half of a drug to get out of your system, like your bloodstream. So for example, if the half-life of Advil is 10 hours, then that means that at hour 1, it will have a certain potency, and then 10 hours later, it will be half of that. So half of the drug is cleared from your body. Okay, so think about this in terms of emotions. I can tell you guys the half-life of an emotion is nothing. They just want to be felt and named and acknowledged. They don't want to linger and make your life miserable. So if that's any consolation for anybody, please take that, because that was one of the first things I learned about emotions. That was a huge relief. Another thing I want to say before I just get into this process, I'm just gonna quickly tell you guys what I did. Then we're gonna go and we're gonna pull some cards for additional guidance from the angels, from the spirit realm, and I'm gonna leave you off to do some emotional healing. But the next thing I want to tell you about emotions is that they are going, they almost like build an immunity, I want to say. It's so interesting, by the way, that I keep using these like biology, biochemistry terms. It's almost like my spirit guides are wanting me to take out the emotion part of the emotional healing process and make it more scientific, make it a little more stoic for you guys, which would make sense because I am speaking to a collective 404 on my clock. As I say that, thank you, Spirit. I am speaking to a collective who has built up this huge amount of resistance, and I so understand you guys. I so understand you guys, but this huge amount of resistance to feeling. I'm speaking to a collective who thought that it's going to be a lot scarier and that blocking emotions and feeling indifferent or neutral or apathetic or blah or whatever meh was the way to go and the way to create safety. So I think that is why I keep almost sucking out the emotional aspect of the emotional healing process, because there is a way to do this that's more I don't know what the word is, that's more like scientific, more stoic, a little like you don't have to become one of those people who like feels the desert and the rain and this. I'm not one of those people. But now, you know, I do look at a sunset and I'm like, wow. But I'm not like, I don't think I am an emotional mess. So if you're worried about that, I'm being really called to tell you that. Again, I'm feeling super hot now. Archangel Michael, here to tell you, you are safe. You are safe now. Spirit is saying, I promise you, child. These are exactly the words I'm hearing. I promise you, my child, no matter what emotion comes up, we are here for you and you are safe. Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, I want to go back to the emotional wheel now. So like I said, I'm going to try to put it like right here. That would be much better than putting it on my face. Okay. What you're gonna do is you're gonna set an alarm on your phone. I did this every hour. You can also just do this when you are feeling a strong emotion, but I was a person who was so out of touch with my emotions that I didn't even know when I was feeling them. So I literally had to set an alarm every hour, pause whatever I was doing, like within reason, and ask myself, like hand on my heart, ask myself, what are you feeling, Jess? What is the feeling right now? And I would look at this wheel, and at the beginning, I couldn't even look at a wheel and identify the emotion 90% of the time. I was like, oh, is it this one or this one? I'd have a general idea. You'll see on the emotional chart that there are categories, like, you know, ones that fall under fear, under joy. I had a general idea which category it would fall under, but I didn't, they were all so similar for me. But oftentimes with the distinct ones, it was really easier to kind of feel it, oh, that one. And this gets a lot easier with practice. It really is just like a thing of practice. But so at the beginning, when I couldn't feel my emotions or identify them very easily, I would take a pendulum. And for those of you guys who don't know what a pendulum is, just Google it, ask ChatGPT, how to use a pendulum. And I would take this pendulum and I would ask angels, the highest possible frequency only, that of unconditional love, or higher spirit of the highest possible frequencies of love and light only, divine spirit team, teacher guides, anyway, on and on. I would ask whoever I needed to from the divine realms to please speak through me, speak through this pendulum now, point me toward the single most important emotion, because often we're feeling more than one emotion at one time. Point me toward the emotion that I am feeling the strongest right now, so that I can learn, so that I can befriend it, so that I can heal whatever comes up. And I would be pointed to the emotion. So that's kind of like step one, we'll call it, is simply identify the emotion. Holy moly, guys, let me tell you that in and of itself, if you could just do that part, you don't have to do any releasing, confirmation, hiccup, thank you. You don't have to do any shamanic ceremonies at this point in your life. You literally just have to look at a wheel and say, that's the one I'm feeling now. And just doing that, it's like, it just says like, you'll feel it. Your body's just like, thanks, man. Like, thank you. That's what I just needed to hear, that like, that was the emotion. That's what it's called. It's almost like just naming it has so much power. The second step to this, if you want to go further, like I said, this in and of itself is super healing and super effective in connecting with your emotions and processing them. It already starts the processing part. The second thing that I did after this, and again, this is a practice that I built up. At first, like I said to you guys, I just named it. And then I went on to like elaborate on this process as I got a little bit more comfortable and as I started to, you know, just feel safer and safer. And also another thing with this process, always, I think I said that already, always call in your team of light. If you want super like, you know, top-notch quarterback type of protection, call an Archangel Michael. Ask to be held by the angels, by the angelic realm as you're doing this process. And you can literally just talk to them like friends. Angels, I feel worried. I want to connect with my emotions. Imagine you're just talking to a friend, right? And you know, especially your guardian angels, like they've been with you by your side your whole life. You can talk to them. They know you. They're here for you. They've been literally waiting for this moment when you would just say, hey, help me out. Help me feel safe. You know me better than anyone else. So talk to them like a friend and say, I just need to feel held right now. You guys, at least when I did that, I felt full body chills. Pay attention to what you feel in your body when you ask the angelic realm for help, because they will swoop in and hold you like you've never been held before. I'm getting so emotional even just saying this, because it's a feeling, it's indescribable, really. It's indescribable. Being held by angels is indescribable, and it's accessible to everybody at all times. So the next thing you'll do, you're held by angels, you've identified the emotion. You know, keep in mind, sorry you guys, okay, my phone cut out. I'm trying to remember what I was just speaking about because I kept on channeling without even realizing that my phone was not even on filming. But we were speaking about identifying emotions with the emotional wheel, and asking the angels to come in to ensure that you feel safe throughout this process. So the next step with that would be describing the emotion. Okay, so you've identified an emotion, let's say it's anger. And it sounds funny, but like I can tell you that I didn't even know when I was feeling, let's say, anger versus sadness, because I'm not like a yelling, loud, ragey person. My anger feels very similar to sadness. It just feels like, you know, I want to like recluse. So keep in mind that like it might not be as obvious. Sit with it for a while and really ask yourself, what am I feeling? Once you name it, like I was starting to say before, you almost build up this immunity to it. It's like the reason you're describing it is so that the next time it occurs, you can, yes, that's anger. I feel angry. Okay, then understand it. So, you know, if you've spent any amount of time with a toddler, you will know that they ask the question why many, many times, and they do it in a row. So I almost want you to like ask yourself, why? Try to, it will come to a natural conclusion. I'll give you an example in a second, but basically keep poking at it. Keep asking yourself and like drilling down with why until, you kind of come to this natural conclusion. I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm feeling fear. I identify I'm feeling fear, or I use a pendulum, or I'm just paying attention to my body language. I know that this is fear that's coming up. Okay, bing, done, I've identified it. Now you're gonna ask yourself, okay, what does fear feel like in my body? Well, when I'm fearful, I recluse, my shoulders roll in, I want to like shield or hide myself from the world. I feel timid, whatever the feelings are, maybe my stomach starts to rumble, or I start to look down, or I start to maybe be more alert, right? Like when I'm fearful, I'm always looking around, looking for signs of danger. Maybe my heart starts to race. It's more like an anxiety feeling. Maybe I become ungrounded. That's a big one for me, by the way. When I become fearful on any level, even just like in the smallest way, I start to, I actually like am less on my heels and more on my toes physiologically. It's wild when you start to pay attention to it, how your body reacts and literally speaks to you with your body language and physiology. So right away, first of all, whenever you're feeling, for example, for me, I know if I'm feeling fear, I start to like get all floaty. Well, what the first thing that I can do is I can actually change my own physiology. And this is something, by the way, that Tony Robbins has like mastered and speaks about and is so effective. Doesn't matter if you're like a fan or not of his, he knows what he's talking about. But so what I'll do right away is I will consciously ground, because now, like I said, with this immunity where your body is like, yes, that's fear. I know what it is now. And you start to like quickly on a day-to-day basis as it comes up, identify it. Well, the first thing that I'll do is I'll start grounding. I will literally visualize that from the center of my feet, right? I'll feel my feet kind of lifting up. I'll visualize that I'm like, have roots of a tree growing from my feet. If I'm in an apartment building, I will imagine them going all the way down every single floor, down to the ground floor, through the ground with the trees now, and I ground myself with visualization. I change my actual posture, right? So if fear makes me recluse, then I'll kind of straighten up and ground myself down, and right away I start to feel better, because emotions and physiology are so connected. Obviously, there's the whole mind-body connection, going on here. So if your mind is feeling one thing, change your body and see what happens. They work kind of, I forget the word I was doing, whatever, doesn't matter, you get the point. So then you're gonna ask the 5 whys, okay? So imagine a toddler is asking you, right? Because the reason toddlers start to ask the question why, it's one of the first questions they ask, is because they're literally trying to get to the bottom of something. They're just exploring the world, they're learning all these new things, and they want to understand it better. So it is the exact same thing with you and your emotions. If you're feeling fear, you're gonna ask yourself why. Or if you're feeling any emotion, but let's go with the example of fear. I'm feeling fear, okay? I've identified it, I've described what it's like in my body. I've changed my body posture consciously, if possible, right? Usually there's a physiological response. So just change that right off the bat. It will help speed up the process. And then I start to ask why. So from this grounded, safe place, okay, why do I feel fear? Well, I feel fear because I'm about to film a YouTube video. Why? Why does that make you fearful? So we've done one why. Now second, why does that make you fearful? Well, because I'm speaking about something that's really near and dear to my heart, and because I'm speaking about something that's really near and dear to my heart. That's the second why, okay? Why does that make you fearful? Well, because I want others to, receive it in the way that I know it can help them. Okay, why? At a certain point, this will come, it just doesn't make sense to ask the question why anymore. And at that point, you will have really, truly understood the emotion. Well, at that point, you can reason with it and you can understand it so much better. Well, yeah, it's almost like you're speaking to your child self from the vantage point of your higher self, from the viewpoint of your higher self. Okay, well, of course, honey, that makes sense that you would feel fearful. You're speaking about something so near and dear to your heart. But don't worry, it's gonna be okay. You don't have to post this. You can reason with it. You could go the logic route, that helps, right? And then your ego's like, oh, ego don't like that when logic actually has what is it called? Whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. I can't, the channels are flowing today, guys. I cannot even stop them from coming. Okay, let's keep going. So you've asked yourself why. At this point, you're really connected to and identifying your emotion. At this point, if I had to guess, I would say 50% of the emotion has already released, if not more, okay? Right? Because we're always thinking about, well, what am I going to do with this emotion? It's going to be stuck in my body and it's going to be so painful. I'm going to have to feel it. Like, just the process of understanding it already starts the process of release. Like I said, your body is not looking for more things to do, to be busier, to hang on to a bunch of emotions that no longer have active messages for you. So at this point, you've accepted it. Now you might come up against more resistance where you need to further accept it a little bit more. And this could just be in the form of saying, hey, yes, this, this is very much also the letting go method by David Hawkins. Brilliant man. But he says, don't resist it. For example, in this fear example, if I'm like, oh, it's scary because I could get rejected, because I could get, no views on this video, and then I put myself out there and, just keep going on and on with that thought, you'll realize you're not going to die. It's going to be okay. And if you are in a life-threatening situation, by the way, all of this comes with a huge warning. Use your discernment. Don't try to handle fear that you're not ready for. This is you really, please use your discernment in here. But just accept it within yourself. Go to the worst case scenario. Don't block yourself from it. And recognize that maybe the fear or whatever emotion you're feeling is not as dangerous as you once thought it was, okay? Continue accepting it within yourself. Continue nurturing that emotion, asking it what it needs, okay? And then for further releasing, look, first of all, sometimes, yes, these emotions might linger in your body for a while. Accept that. Okay, I feel the fear. I feel the fear, and it feels awkward and uncomfortable. And, and just, again, the releasing process is so natural. If you need, you can do more releasing ceremonies. You can do this by a body of water. You could take a very intentional cleansing bath or shower. Journaling is a huge, very, very effective one. Asking the angels is my go-to. Hey, angels, I'm still hanging on to this fear. Can you help me understand the lessons, contained within that? I know that there are messages for me. I want to understand them. Can you help me? Great. They will swoop in. Watch them. Just try them. They will swoop in. So that's the emotional wheel process. I want to pull cards. I've been really this deck was my go-to. Ask and it is given, by Esther and Jerry Hicks, because emotions are such a big part. Wow. I love when that. This card. Sorry, I'm not even going to finish that sentence. I need to read this right now, you guys. My uncontrolled thoughts are not to be feared, you guys. Okay, I'm going to read this card to you. There is no reason to worry about your thoughts, for they are not like a loaded gun that may wreak powerful and instantaneous destruction. For you have plenty of time as soon as you become aware, of any negative feelings, to begin to choose other less resistant thoughts and thereby choose a more desired outcome. That's the whole thing, you guys. Getting in touch with these emotions has the huge benefit of giving you more control, right? We try to shut off these emotions because we almost want to control them. But the way to get back into control is to look at your emotions head on and recognize that you don't have to control them. You can simply, if you can just be present with what's happening, then you can recognize that it's not such a threat. You can manage it. You can handle it. You don't need to go around trying to control emotions. That's not the point. The point is to use them as messengers, and you are so capable of doing that. I feel more wanting to come out, but I think I'm going to stop this here because I don't want to get too much into the cards. I'm going to do another reading soon, and I might end up elaborating on this a little bit more with more guidance from the cards, from tarot, from oracle cards. Okay, no, I'm going to leave you with one oracle card. I'm going to use Angel Guide. I'm just laughing because like I've used this deck so much that it's like the cover is wearing out. I love it. This deck from Kyle Gray is meant to be like your guardian angel. So we're gonna ask our guardian angels, what would you have us know? What would you have us know? What would you want to leave us with? What's our strength? Yes, what's our strength right now with being able to be in touch with our emotions and to use them to create fortuitous outcomes in our life, to create, woo! Aha, okay, I love this, okay. So this card says clear, cancel, release, gorgeous. So actually, this card is all about literally saying to yourself, clear, cancel, release. So if you think a thought that is undesirable, or if you're kind of feeling an emotion that you don't want, you literally have the power to just say no, clear, cancel, release, delete that statement altogether. I hope that's making sense. Like, to me, these two messages are so clearly indicating that you are the one, like, you do not have to fear the emotions that come up. They're not going to sneak up behind you and surprise you and cause destructive damage to your life. In fact, you taking the time to connect with your emotions and to go through this process of the emotional wheel that I was speaking of will allow you to clear it and to cancel it and to actually release it. It will literally begin to release, just as we were speaking about before, automatically. Your strength right now is your ability to clear, cancel, and release any of these emotions that you once feared. So don't fear them. Look right at them. Last video that I posted, we were speaking about the thorn, the whole story with the thorn and how the guy, if he just took out the thorn and looked at it, that's you guys right now, because that's in your past. If you're with this collective, you're following along, then that is you being able to look at the thorn, take it out, clear, cancel, release. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at here. Let me know, guys. I'm so curious. Please let me know how this goes for you. And if any questions or anything comes up, write it in the comments, and we're all here to support each other. I hope you have a great day, and I will speak to you next time. Bye.